If you're making music, you've probably made chords before. And if you don't know what you're doing, they probably sounded terrible. Nasty. Through the power of great chord progressions, I've sold beats, I've got placement, so let me share the secret sauce on how to make great chords. First things first, you need to understand that FL Studio has a scale highlighting feature. All you got to do is right click the little music note up here, pick your root note, and then pick your scale. I'm in B minor. And now once you're in your scale, we can number every note in the scale starting at your root note from 1 to 7. So this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, this is the 4, 5, 6, 7. We go down, this is 7 still, this is 6, this is 5, this is 4, this is 3, this is 2, this is 1. We keep going up, this is 1 again. Okay, a lot of people get confused with that. Now, most progressions will start on the 1. You can be quirky and change it up if you want, but it sounds good. They do it for a reason. Now, if you just want to make a basic chord, you skip this next note in the scale, you go up, bam. You do that again, skip that next note in the scale, go up, bam. Now you have a triad. We could take this note here, bring it down, make it a suspended second chord. It's gonna sound dark and dissonant, it's kind of cool. We could bring this up to the 4th of the scale here and also make it a suspended 4th chord. Same kind of thing, it will sound dark and dissonant just because these notes are close together. If we remove this D entirely, now we've got a power chord, and because it's made up of 2 notes, it's called a dyad. These chords sound super powerful, kind of self-explanatory because it's in the name. Now if I want to keep going with this chord, I can skip this next note here in the scale, go up, bam, I've got a 7th chord. Sounds kind of jazzy, but what if I do it again, right? Skip this next note, go up. I've got an 11th chord. I'm gonna remove the 7th because it's gonna sound pretty cool. And the big thing to this is we have this dissonance between the C sharp and the D, so it's gonna sound tense and nice. So with your chords, it's super important to have a rhythm that is something a little bit more than just your chords hitting on every single beat. Even if you just stretch it to be 2 bars or even more, that's okay. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to copy my chords over because I want to keep a lot of my chord notes in common, because if you keep them in common, your chords will sound good together. They won't sound like they're jumping around a bunch. And I want to take this down, bring that down to the 7th. So my progression now is going from the 1 to the 7. I'm gonna drop this down as well because part of the chord to go down. It's an implied 13th chord. Because these notes are in common, it's gonna not sound very jumpy, and the change is pretty minute between these notes. But because these notes are separated by a note, so there's a whole tone apart, it's going to sound sad. I've got a video that explains all of this a lot better up above, so check it out. Now I've got this chord, right? I've got this chord. I like my progression here, but I want to copy it over some more. And if I take the B here, and I bring that way down to the 6th, this is gonna become a 6th chord. And one of my favorite things to do with chords as a whole is to take the 7th and you can raise that. So this can be a mode switch. So if you see in here the scales, you have the minor melodic mode, which takes the 6th and the 7th and raises it by 1 semitone. But I'm going to be switching modes to the harmonic minor, which only takes the 7th and raises that by 1 semitone. So that's the sauce. You can consider it borrowing a chord. Now it doesn't always sound exactly how you want right away, so I like to build up the tension with the chord a bit. Now, if you're a good producer and you have chords, you know you want to strum them. All you gotta do, press Alt-S, bam, the Strumizer pops up. That's a great name. Mess around with the time knob. You can mess around with the velocity too. No chords are complete without either adding in some rhythm to the chords so that they have some bounce. These are more emotional, so I don't really want that. Or by adding in some filler notes. And filler notes are great because they will help transition your chords between each other. And pretty much think of filler notes as notes that are going to be all up in this space, creating a little bit of melody in between this harmony. And you don't need to think for this, just freestyle something. And once you have just like one kind of filler note phrase, you can repeat it as much as you like. But the idea is you want to change it up as you repeat it. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this over, change it up a bit to have my sections. Like I'll have like an A section, a B section that repeats, and then I'm gonna have the C section. Ooh, it just sounds good though. Beautiful. Now this is major importance for chords. A lot of people sleep on this. You want your chords to sound thick, juicy, deep, have a lot of nice oomph to that. What you gotta do for this is really easy. You take your bottom notes or whatever bass note you want to use, bring it down an octave. If this doesn't sound deep enough, you can copy it again and then bring it down another octave. So you'll have like this kind of monstrosity. But if you're still feeling like your chords are they're not thick enough, you can layer your chord notes up an octave as well, just to kind of fill it out a bit more. See, the E would be in this chord, but I didn't play it. Now I'm gonna play it here. And the reason we can have both is because they are both in the chord. This is the first, this is the fifth. Super crucial for any instrument that's supposed to sound realistic. You want to humanize it, so all you got to do, go into your tools, press humanize. It's pretty straightforward. Here's the full thing.